Hi, this is Chris from twistedmind.design, and I just wanted to show you guys my little twisty doohickey thing that I made. I made it out of some galvanized steel wire, and this is what I used to make my quarter-inch links for my chains. So what I'm using right now is 14 gauge wire, that copper wire that I harvest from stranded ground wire that comes from the hardware store. So if you can find a hardware store that has stranded ground wire, usually it has, I don't know, 7 to 9 strands of 14, and sometimes I think there's a couple 16 gauge stuck in there too, within the strands, and then I unstrand it. But so just want to show you how this works. So it twists around, and you'll see. So I put it in here, wrap it a couple times just to get a good wrap on there, and then I am having it a little bit straightened out. And then I just start twisting, and I'm holding some tension down here. And if you can see, it is twisting right up. This keeps my, if it gets a little, starts to overlap, I'll just back it off a little bit. But it keeps my hands from getting really, really tired if I'm trying to twist this higher gauge wire. Oops, higher or lower, thicker gauge wire. Just keep twisting, just keep twisting, just keep twisting. So I will probably edit a little bit of this out so you don't have to watch the entire twisting process. And as you see, it's starting to spiral up, making me a little coil. Now I could do this with drill, or maybe a Dremel tool or something, but I found that the manual process makes it a little bit easier to control. I don't have to worry about the speed quite as much. Okay, so I'm going to cut that off just so you can see what's going on. Okay, so I've got pretty much a full spool of the wire now twisted, and what I'll do is I'll just pull this out. I don't have to, but I can. So I pull it out, and there I have a whole coil of wire. I'll go in and snip this one off just so I can get this coil off, and if it's too tight on there, I just have to spin it a little bit to loosen it up. And voila! I have a whole coil of wire. Now I will show you what I'll do with that if you're not familiar with this, but I'll show you. Basically, I'm just going to clip it, but I want to get a close-up for that. Okay, so I've got my coil here of twisted 14 gauge wire, and now all I have to do is make the links. A lot of times I will put a bucket in there, and then I'll drop my tools, and it'll be awesome. But I'll put a bowl or something around so the links don't go shooting all over the room, because that's annoying. So I'll take this, get this first one cut off pretty close. Now I'm using my shears. These are shears rather than dropping tools. shears rather than clippers like these pinch clippers, pinch cutters. These are not good for this kind of stuff because they make the edges really sharp, and you have to like file down each link, and that just totally sucks. So so I got this thing, got it ready to go, so I'm just going to start clipping. And I'll snip off a couple of these guys. And I'll do that all the way down. Now this is a small link. I can also do this with, whoop, and then they exploded all over them. I can do this with the small links. I can also do it with larger. Trying to figure out something I can put over the top of my of the pole that goes through the, well, I don't know what to call it, but this thing, I think if I put something over the top of it right here, I could probably change the different sizes. So I've got to come up with something to do that. I'm thinking like a steel tube of some sort that this will fit on top of, but I'll work that out. For my 3/8 inch right now, all I'm using is a wooden dowel, and I don't seem to have any of those laying around. But so anyway, so I'll do a couple more of these, snipping them off, snipping them off. Now I'm trying to do this to where you can see on the camera, so it's not as efficient as I normally am. Alright, so so I've got some links here in my little bucket, and normally I'll go through, I will wrap several of these coils so I can have a lot to make chains. So, but just for this example, I'll just wrap a few of them. Then I get my links and I pull them up. Now, if you see the shape of this, I'm trying to tell if this is in focus or not, can't really, but if you can see the shape of it, it's kind of a weird shape. But what it is that it needs to be grabbed from the side and twisted back into itself just because of the way it rolls. So if I twist it back there, then it becomes round. Amazing, right? I will also give it a couple back and forths to harden it up a little bit, and to get a little bit of those burrs off. I'm working on a process for deburring. I sometimes have to give it a little pinch just to get those initial burrs to calm down. So there's one. Grab the next one, link it through, and grab my other. So I got identical pair of chain nose pliers that I like to use. They're really good for showing the tips, for the tips to get in there. Link this guy up, give it a little crimp. See, there's a really sharp edge right there, and it's not lined up perfectly, so I'm going to crimp it down because I don't want to stab my clients. Well, sometimes I do, but I'm in therapy for that. So then I'll just keep going, get a couple more. And once you kind of get the hang of it, and again, it's hard for me to see if everybody can see, you can kind of feel those things linking up there. There we go. Let's just grab one more. How many we got? 3. want to do 5 because 4 is a Chinese unlucky number, and you never want to do anything that makes the Chinese angry or nervous. So I don't like nervous Chinese people. No offense to the Chinese people who may be watching this. Just know that I have your non-nervousness in interest. And again, so look, I'm grabbing it and I'm twisting it together like that first. Then I get my round link. I give it a back and forth to strengthen it a little bit. And then I do that. Kind of squish it together a little bit. And I can deburr this also once it gets done. Let's see how many I got. I got 5 links. I think 5 links is pretty culturally sensitive. So there you go. So that is my process, and that's my little chain spinny doohickey. Patents pending. And that's it. Thank you very much. Again, I'm Chris at twistedmind.design. Bye.